Hello my friends and welcome back to the channel. In this video I want to talk about insanity. If you looked at the pictures on the thumbnail of this video today, you'll see two very different people. And they're only taken 5 years apart, those photographs. In this video I want to explain how I dug myself out of that insanity and how you can too. And what it actually means when I say insanity. Before I do that, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and take another moment to click the Ko-fi link in the description and have a read. And please, if my videos have helped you and you'd like to support the channel, I'd be really grateful and it would help a great deal. And thanks to those who already have done. If you look at the Oxford Dictionary definition of insanity, you'll see that it says, there's a few little definitions in there, but you'll see that it says severe mental illness or psychosis. It also says under there, cannot distinguish fantasy from reality. That's quite pertinent. But the most famous quote of all, which you've all probably heard, was attributed to Einstein. Whether he actually said it or not is a matter for debate. But it's still a good definition, and it's that doing the same thing or the same behaviour over and over again, repeating it and expecting a different result. If we keep doing what we do, we keep getting what we get. It's as simple as that. I'll tell you about insanity. Back to those two pictures on the thumbnail of this video. In the picture on the left, you'll see a broken person in the midst of addiction. In that picture, I was drunk, I was high, I was grossly overweight. I looked terrible, as you can see from the picture, shirt off. And I still, this is what I mean by not being able to distinguish fantasy from reality. I still thought, hey, I look good. I'll post that picture on Facebook. Which is where I retrieved it from, because it came back on my memories, which is why I made this video today. I'd forgotten all about it. But I thought, this is how deluded I was and how insane I was. I thought that I looked really good in that picture. And in the midst of that, I was repeating this crazy behavior day after day after day after day. Thinking that I was achieving great things. There wasn't any problem. It was great. I felt great. Stuck in this dark, lonely world, locked away in my room, never leaving it only for alcohol and drugs. Vomiting every day. Lost in this fantasy world, imagining I was all sorts of things. Tim in the SAS, this fit, this great. All these fantasies coming into my head. Which is what addicts often do. They live in this fantasy world that everything's okay and, they're achieving great things and no one's noticing what's going on, what their lives are really like. When in fact, everybody knows, you only have to take one look at that picture. So those 5 years, how do you travel from the picture on the left to the person I am today? I mean, I don't recognize that person on the left-hand picture, that insane person. And I know, I'm saying insane. I'm not being cruel by using the word insanity because, you are actually insane in addiction. It's a form of insanity. I know there are people seriously mentally ill who need specific treatment for that, and that's another thing altogether. But the insanity of addiction is a real thing. So how do you travel from one to the other? Because I'm not just talking about addiction here. People get stuck in all sorts of insane behaviours in the modern world today. This constant scrolling and clicking and comparing and, living in this fantasy world, that's not real. That's imagined and in the head, not actually venturing outside of a room. Most people are doing that today. They're living in this this bubble, not experiencing real life at all. They don't know what it's like to feel proper emotions, or, and they're just stuffing themselves with junk, and it continues and the cycle goes on. That's another form of insanity. So what I had to do, and it's not been a smooth road, and those of you who follow the channel will know, over the past 5-6 years, there's been a couple of bumps in the road where I've fell backwards and relapsed, only for short periods of time, thank God. But the last one was serious enough to make me really ill, and was the defining moment, really. And it's okay to have those steps backwards, because as long as you're learning from them, you can focus on them and analyze what your triggers were and what actually caused you, and when the thinking started, which is usually long before the actual relapse, as I've said many times. So to make that change, and and there are bumps in the road, as I've said. It's only the last 2 years all the pieces of the jigsaw have come together for me, and I've found this this peaceful and hopefully lasting sobriety. Although I know it's only a daily reprieve. It is for all addicts, really. It only takes one drink and one drug, and that's it. So, day by day I go. And it's the greatest way to think, because I just experience the moment, And I take small steps. And that's what's happened over the past 5 or 6 years, from that 20 stone, which is 280 pounds, for those of you who work in pounds, picture on the left-hand side, drunken and drugged, to this hopefully person today who's around about 180, 190 pounds, strong, fit, with a great support network around him, with love and peace and serenity in his life, that eats healthily, that exercises each day, that tries to do the right things every day, and the great things coming back into my life each day. And that's what happens. That's the gift of it. And that's not just about sobriety. That's the gift that comes to you when you start focusing on yourself. You have to take a very hard look at yourself when you reach the stage I was at in that picture. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to learn how to sit with your emotions, how to feel them, how to experience them when you're sober, how to learn to like yourself again. I know it sounds soppy in that, but it's very true, because I hated myself. Even though I told myself I looked good, I couldn't even look at myself in a mirror. So today I'm happy with the way I am. I'm not perfect. I like to say I'm perfectly imperfect. None of us are. However, I do my best each day. I give my best each day, and I'm kind, and I try to give back and give service. And for me, that's my purpose. And you find that, and look, over the last 5 years, it's been a slow journey. A year after that picture was taken, you couldn't really see a great difference. If you look at the two pictures side by side, it's a massive difference. The clear eyes, the lack of weight, the focus, the determination, and the feeling. I'm not serene all the time, because shit happens and life happens, but the serenity that surrounds me is more and more each day. And you don't have to have loads of money. I don't care, doesn't matter what situation you're in, because I had nothing then at all. I was relying on handouts and borrowing money, and I just lived day by day in that dark pit of addiction and despair. So I don't care who you are watching this now, you can dig yourself out of the mess you're in. You can. You have to take responsibility for your actions, your thoughts, and every consequence of those actions. Take responsibility for your life, and just set small goals and go day by day by day by day. Chip it off a bit at a time, a step at a time, a moment at a time, and it will happen. And you will find that peace too, I promise you. So never give up, stay strong, and change your life today. Carpe diem, seize the day today. It's great. There's only a little bit of insanity there now, but only the bit I'll never get rid of. Much love to you all. Bye-bye.